Well, good morning, world. We're going to go in here and check on the status of this El Camino, see where we're at. Got a lot done since the last video, and it's been a couple of months. Well, let's see what's happening now. Shop is all shut up. There's that Elkie. Uh-oh, there's a bunch of tools and mess out. I've been sorting tools yesterday when I had a spare moment. I guess the most important thing to look at and see what's happened so far is, whoop, there's a hole where the engine's supposed to be. Yep. My dad and I got that thing pulled out last weekend, and it was unbelievably simple. I had gotten everything prepared ahead of time, hooked up the old crane, and pulled it out of there. Here's the block right here. It's just an old stock 350 block. As you can see, it's set up for fuel injection. There's no fuel pump on there. I still have to finish tearing this thing down. Got motor mounts to pull off. Got caps and bearings to remove, so on and so forth. That's the block. There's all the push rods and lifters, and there's the old swirl port heads right there. So what I plan to do here with this 350 is check it all out, mic the crank, check out the cam, make sure everything is up to spec, get a gasket set if so, and put it all back together, and then let it set. Not quite sure what I'm going to do then. I'm torn between building this thing up, putting it back in there, or getting me a larger engine like a 454 big block, putting in there. Maybe a modern Vortec engine out of one of the modern Chevy trucks and a transmission. Just have not decided yet. So once I get done, well, I guess what I should say is my next step is, once this engine is put back together and set aside, my next thing is to do a frame off on this El Camino. So essentially what that means is the body of the car is connected to the frame with 8 mounting bolts, and so I'm going to jack the car up, I'm going to pull those bolts out, I'm going to lower the car down, and then I'm going to jack the body of the car up alone, just the body, and going to prop it up in the air about 2 feet above the frame, use the center blocks and 8x8s or 4x4s, and then I'm going to pull the frame out from underneath there, wheels and all, and put it over here on this side, this bay, and we're going to rebuild the frame first. We're going to clean it up, we're going to do some little frame repair on it, we're going to check the springs, change the shocks, change bushings, get all that done, remove all the little surface rust from the frame. Then we're going to go ahead and paint it chassis black, and then next step would be decide what to do on the motor, and while that's cooking, we'll be body working the body here on El Camino, and Lord knows there's plenty to do. But with the frame gone, it'll be really nice and easy to come in here and replace this floor. I believe, I'm pretty sure I've decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy sheet metal, and I'm going to cut it to fit, weld it in place, grind it down, do all that way rather than buying the panels. I don't like the idea of spending gigantic dollars on these panels, and it's going to be a quilted look anyway, because you're going to have to patch a panel up there, a panel back here, a panel up here, a panel back here, so on and so forth. So why not just get the raw sheet metal, bend it as necessary, and mock it all up with cardboard and make sure I got the right fit of it, and then weld it up. Got a few various parts and pieces back here. Of course, you can see the headers. They're pretty much gone. So they've been in and changed, for the steering shaft and so on and so forth. Drive shaft stuck back there. You don't care about that. Anyway, let's go over here and look at the transmission. Transmission came out with a motor, and the transmission's looks to be in pretty good shape, except for if you look at the right hand corner of the bell housing, you can see one of the ears where the transmission was mounted to the engine is broken off, so that's probably going to have to get welded up. But this is a overdrive transmission, pretty good shape. Again, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. We're going to go back in here with that, or are we going to replace it with a modern rig? What I'd really like to do is take a 5.3 liter Vortec out of a wrecked Chevy Silverado, pull the entire drivetrain out, and including the wiring harness and the computer and all that whole deal, and swap it into the El Camino. That'll give me a modern day ride, modern day fuel economy, so on and so forth. So anyway, we've been hard at work. Our work's going to come to a standstill for a while now, because I'm lucky enough to get to go up to Minnesota and be the best man for my son's wedding. And so after this video, I guess that'll be the next videos I'll be posting. So here's our El Camino project. This is where we're at right now. Any questions, do not hesitate to ask them. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.